The Absa Business Icon Award goes to Stephen Kosov.
So Investec originally was a subsidiary of a firm called HCI, and Ian KANTOR, together with two colleagues, Larry Nestor and Errol Grolman, did a management buyout in 1976. Then that put the name Investec on the map. Bernard and I joined later, and we'll start arguing about what the date was. I did a joint venture on the 1st of November 1978. At that stage, there were 8 of us. And so the whole of Investec would sit around a small meeting room table. We bought a bank. From that moment on, we started building a banking franchise. We listed in 1986. We made an acquisition in the UK in 1992. I can remember my first interaction with the Bank of England. We just bought the bank in 1992. Here come these people from South Africa. And I can remember the first guy who interviewed us at the bank. He never looked at us straight. He looked at us like with his head tilted. You know, are you guys responsible enough to run a bank? Our assets on balance sheet, you get to over 220 billion pounds. If you add all that up, multiply by 18, you get to, you know, South Africa's GDP.
As far as I'm concerned, Stephen Kosov is the leading banker in the country, I think recognized by many as being such. He's got a very soft touch, but a very insightful mind.
If you're building a business, you know, what is very important is, you know, what you stand for, who you are, what is your culture all about, you know, what is your strategy. You've got to build a very strong culture, because at the end of the day, building a business is all about the people. If you build a particular people type business, you're not manufacturing anything, so it's not about efficiency, it's about how you interact with each other, how you interact with your clients, how you interact with your community. So, you know, we've lived in a very volatile world, and always it's, you know, how do you navigate the storm when, you know, there's problems out there, because people panic.
He's made a contribution to jobs, to the economy. He's a stand-up person. He's got huge integrity. He is always the first person I know to put up his hand and to raise the tough issues. But he doesn't just raise the tough issues. He's also got a solution.
And, you know, we had Nenigate. I can tell you stories about Nenigate. Wow, you know, bank shares have dropped 25%, and you thought, what's going to happen here if we don't resolve this problem? And that's where we got heavily involved, got the turnaround. Pravin was appointed, and we started the CEO initiative.
Stephen is a remarkable individual, one of the most impressive and most effective people I know. Extremely smart, a deep patriot, and I think that's important. Remarkably moral. He will talk truth to power. And I've seen that. Stephen is one of those guys, I think, that 1 in a million, unique person.
So on the 1st of October, I stepped down as CEO. I remain on as an executive till the end of March. I've still got, you know, lots to do for Investec. I've taken one non-executive role, which is Bitcorp. The rest of my work will continue probably to be with Investec and their clients. So I move from the front of the bus to the back of the bus. I also have grandchildren, so I hope I'll be able to spend a bit more time with them.
Stephen, you are all our icon. You are a legend in South Africa, and it's been a great pleasure and privilege to work alongside you. I just want you on my side of the table, so we're fighting the street wars together.
Stephen is getting an award for an incredible life, an incredible contribution to business, and I can't think of anybody who deserves this award more. The contribution that you have made to South African life, to South African business, and to banking is beyond compare.
Honor for me to accept an award of this nature, and I always try to do the best I can for Investec. I've tried to do the best I can for South Africa, and I've tried to be very supportive of the Jewish community at the same time. I'm really appreciative to the community, to my family, and to my colleagues.
Just to have had a partner of this caliber for 39 years of my life has been an absolute blessing, a privilege. You will not find a man with a bigger generosity of spirit than Stephen. So congratulations for that, and again, good luck, and just what a privilege and what a joy you've been in my life. Really, thank you so much for these 39, 40 years. God bless you, and God bless Cheryl and the kids.
I think South Africa has a lot to give and a lot to change, but I think we can make great progress if we put our heads together as a society. Howard said I could only speak for 3 minutes, so I didn't really prepare. I'm like the other fella, and it's a pity I have to talk after the judge and the advertising man. But nevertheless, I think I'm receiving this award on behalf of a great organization that was not founded by me, but Bernard and I, who were in the front face for many, many years in trying to build the organization. Bernard went off to London in 1997. I can remember him phoning me and saying, geez, man, it's dark at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was only October. And I think that, at the end of the day, there are lots of people in our organization who've made a big contribution. We've always had Glenberger for 38 years sweeping behind us because we could be quite untidy, trying to do deals and more worried about the clients and compliance and all those funny things that they throw at us as bankers. But I think building a business, if you're entrepreneurial, you have to have people like Glenberger who keep you covered. I've also got with me today at this function, Fani Titu, who's going to take over from me as Group CEO, Richard Wainwright, who's the CEO of Investec Bank Limited, and Henry Blumenthal, who runs our wealth business in South Africa. And all of them, plus another 10,000 people, have played a magnificent role in creating Investec, building Investec to what it is today. I talked about 220 million pounds at 18, it's now 19. So I think when I add it all up, we get to about 4 billion rand of funds under management, both on and off balance sheet. We started with a million rand of capital, 3 million rand of total assets back in 1980. If I went back to 76, when Ian started the business with Larry and Errol, I think they had 100,000 rand of capital and a loss of 20,000 rand. I think that, there are lots of people to thank. Mr. Joffe here, who said a few nice words to me, for me, my competitor colleagues. I think I remember in 2015, Absa gave zebra yarmies. And I've still got my zebra yarmie, but now you've gone to blue. So anyway, at least acknowledgement from my colleagues in the industry is also been very important for me. I think clearly I've had a lot of support at home. I've been married to Cheryl for 41 years. She's been there all the way for me, and actually always taught me to try and be a human being and not fall in love with myself. So I've always understood when I come home, you're just one of us. When you're at work, you might be a hero. When you're here, you're one of us. And you can't even get things done. You can't multitask. Us men, we can't multitask. Anyway, so I think when we talk about the country, I can remember those days we spoke about on TV very clearly. Maria was talking about it when the uncle fired Nenny. I thought that was the end. And I think we fought quite hard to actually get a turnaround. When bank shares dropped 25% and they're going to drop another 25% the next day, you know that the country could be spinning off into a crisis. And I think that taught us exactly what the fellow before me said, is it's important for all of us to actually stand up, fight, and make a contribution. I think when you think about when Investec started in 1976, that was the year the Soweto riots. We became a bank in 1980, also a very difficult period. We listed in 1986, had a crash in 1987. We managed to get to the UK we listed there in 2002 in the middle of the Enron WorldCom crisis. I've seen 5 financial crises. But I think at the end of the day, it was a nice article about Brian Joffe on front page of Business Day the other day saying he started Bidcorp in 1988, just before the end of apartheid, and South Africa was also a very rough place. So for us, I know we're walking around a little bit miserable as a community at this point in time. As Mr. Abel said, we are under assault, but I think we have a big role to play in this country. We are very entrepreneurial. We're the people who can help create jobs. We're the people who can help make a contribution. And think about it. Investec started 1976. Bidcorp started 1988. Look what those companies became. So for those of you who haven't started your companies, get out there and start in this year, 2018. So to all of you, thank you for this great honor. To Absa, I know that it's difficult to give an award to a competitor, but I really appreciate it. And to the Jewish reporter, Howard, thank you again for your contribution and for making tonight happen. So again, thank you very much to everyone. Finally, I forgot about my 2 children. They are unfortunately not here. One lives in Australia with my grandchildren, and the other lives in London. And I really appreciate their support over many, many years. So to my family, everyone around, my staff, everyone who's helped me get to this position, thank you very much. Thank you.